Hi! So, today, looking at the word psychology, a rather interesting word, a rather, what shall I say, almost intense word. It is very much in our faces, you could say. Psychology. So, for as long as I can remember, psychology have meant to be about the human mind and behavior of the human. I'm focusing on the human now. Psychology would be about the human mind and human behavior. That's the science of the human mind and human behavior. So for me, there is a big misunderstanding taking place here, because once we see the human mind, the human behavior, we think about somebody else than ourselves. We think about the schizophrenic, the anorectic, the depressed, the drug addicted. We think about the abused. We think about the abuser. We think about whatever characters and diagnoses we have awareness about or we have heard about. So this is a call to really point that fork back at self. Meaning, psychology is about looking self in the mirror and being honest about what is there. That is what psychology is about. It is not about who is the most schizophrenic, who is the most depressed, who takes the most medications or drugs or whatever. That is a separation in the first place, which is obviously based on greed and inequality and ego, self-interest. So, psychology, we can use other words. We can use investigate, consider, care, self-intimacy, lots of words, empowerment, discovering about learning the human mind and behavior science. But the big thing that goes wrong in the education system, in the hospitals, at the workplace, in wherever you go, there's this big idea about psychology is, and we are taught this is what we learned in the system, in the school and so on. We are taught that psychology is something separate from myself. We are taught in school and universities and all over the place, we're taught that psychology is something else than me. It is that person walking in the street with a bottle in his hand, or it's something except from myself. We are taught that psychology is something separate from the I person. So this is a call, if you're ever hardly interested in psychology or such a manner, to really look in the fucking mirror and see what is there. What the fuck am I looking at? And be honest about what you see, because that is the real psychology. That is where you can investigate, discover, realize, care, consider, be self-intimate, and empower within seeing and being honest with what you see, and work on what you find through writing, self-forgiveness, vlogging, blogging, sharing, whatever you do with it, the information you find. So, one more time, psychology is about looking in the mirror. A misconception that we see happening all the time, that I see happening all the time, is that that separation, that diagnosis of something else, something external from me, something I don't want to touch or witness even. So, Psychology is about taking a good fucking look in the mirror, be honest about what you see, and work on that. Instead of pointing fingers at whatever people and whatever culture or color or smell or what the fuck, bring it back to self. That is where the real power is. To really investigate the meaning of psychology and the potential of empowerment, of care, realization, self-intimacy, and so on, discoveries, and so on. That is the real deal here. What we're lacking is to bring it back to self. All the reactions, all the flings, all the whatever that goes on, bring it back to self, to equalize, to forgive, and to embrace, and become one, and become whole, and without, emotional burden and energetic place of polarities and this and that and right and wrong and good and evil. Get over all that by walking a process of self-forgiveness. That is the ultimate key. Thank you.